Hello friends, in this session we'll study the entire geography of Africa. Before studying the geography of Africa, we must have idea what is the meaning of Africa. First of all, let's understand why Africa is so important and why we study the geography of Africa. You just see this land of, you can say, tribe is known as Africa. If you talk about human civilization, the human beings for the first time appeared in this continent. And this is the second largest continent. We'll start from basic and we'll complete the entire geography of Africa. Right? The first point is that this is the land of tribes. So Africa is a land of tribes, Maasai tribes, so many tribes, Junda tribes, many tribes you will find here. And in this continent, the human appearance occurred. That means you can say human beings came for the first time in this beautiful land or continent, Africa. Right? Second point is human appearance. Human appearance. This point you have to keep in mind. Anyway, in this session, what we are going to learn, first thing is we'll finish the political features. First is political features we'll finish. Political parts, right? Political parts or features you can say, features. Right? Second, the physical features. Physical features. In political parts, we will talk about the capital cities and you can say different ports, all those things. But in physical features, we are going to discuss number of things. You can say mountain ranges, right? So mountain ranges we are going to discuss. Mountains, then lakes, rivers, right? You can say straits also. Deserts we will discuss, deserts. Number of things we are going to discuss in physical features. So anyway, let's start the geography of Africa. I think you will definitely understand because I will start from the basic and I will end with the complete geography of Africa. Let's start. You just see this Africa, I have told this is land of tribes and the human beings appeared for the first time here in this continent. And this continent is second largest continent. First is your Asia. So second largest you have to remember. These are the basic things we are talking. So second largest continent. This point we have to keep in mind. Second largest continent in the world. Right? Generally, when we start Africa, or any continent. You may talk about Australia, you may talk about Africa, or Asia, North America, South America, any continent. There is one approach, how to deal this part, right? I will start from the beginning. You just see here. If I say, look at this here first. Suppose this is North America, right? I'll show it, don't worry. This is North America, this one is South of America, this is Europe, Africa, right? This one is Asia, this is Australia, Antarctica, and Arctic Ocean. So we are talking about this Africa, right? I think it's clear. So let's start. You see, this continent, Africa is separated from Europe. You just see, where is Europe? Just imagine. This is Europe. This continent is Europe. And if you think about this Africa, how they are separated from Europe. So first point is, you can see here, this is the point, right? This point, you have to check it. This point is known as Strait of Gibraltar. So I can write here, this is Strait of Gibraltar. you have to remember, this is narrow water body separating African Morocco from, you can say, Spain. So this point we have to keep in mind that Strait of Gibraltar separates Europe from Africa. This is Strait of Gibraltar. So you have to keep in mind. Second thing is, this water body is known as Mediterranean Sea. I'll show you, don't worry. You just see, this water body is known as Mediterranean water body. You just see. This is actually Mediterranean Sea, which separates Europe from Africa. This point we have to remember. So first is Strait of Gibraltar. Second is Mediterranean Sea. So Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea. Then we'll discuss. You can see here, I have told that Africa is separated from this Europe by Strait of Gibraltar at this point, and here is the Europe, and Europe is separated from Africa by Mediterranean Sea. After that, we have to study very carefully. You just see here, if I talk about, this is Africa, right? This is Africa, and this part you can say Asia. And how Asia is separated from Africa, we are going to discuss. Just keep patience. You can see here, here is Suez Canal. So you have to remember Suez Canal, right? Suez Canal. And this is actually, this water body, right, is known as Red Sea. Red Sea. And this water body is known as Gulf of Aden. I'll show you Gulf of Aden. And this Gulf of Aden is connected with Red Sea by Bab el Mandab. One strait is there. Strait is nothing but the water channel, small water channel, right? So this is Bab el Mandab. Bab el Mandab Strait. It is one strait. So this strait is connecting Gulf of Aden with Red Sea. And you have to remember that Red Sea, Suez Canal and Gulf of Aden separating Asia from Africa, right? So this is Africa, this is Asia, right? India is here, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia. So you can remember that this Asia is separated from Africa by Red Sea, or start from Suez Canal, then Red Sea, Bab el Mandab, Gulf of Aden. This is the point you have to remember. So question may come that at what point continent Africa is separated from Asia. So you have to remember Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. This is the point I think you are now clear. So let's move further. You just see, I am talking about Africa, right? So I have completed this part, Strait of Gibraltar. Then I have talked about Mediterranean Sea, and this Mediterranean Sea is the largest inland sea. So this point you have to remember that Mediterranean Sea is the largest inland sea in the world. This point we have to keep in mind. This Mediterranean Sea is the largest inland sea in the world. This point we have to keep in mind. So anyway, we are talking about Gibraltar Strait, then Mediterranean Sea, right? And we have talked about Red Sea. Now I'll focus the Suez Canal. We'll go little details about Suez Canal. What is Suez Canal and why it is so famous? You just see this point is Suez Canal. You can see here, this point is Suez Canal. Port Said is located here. I will explain right now. There are two legs in Suez Canal, right? And this Suez Canal was opened. In 1869. You have to remember, in 1869, Suez Canal was opened for traffic. This, right? So this is the Suez Canal. So you have to remember. I'll show it. First, you understand this point. And when Suez Canal was opened, the distance in between Africa and you can say Asian countries nearly 7,000 kilometers decreased. I'll show it right now. Just see here. This is Suez Canal, right? We are talking, suppose Vasco da Gama we know. So Vasco da Gama came from here, Portugal, and he moved like this, right? Then he moved like this. Then he came to India. This is known as, you can say Calicut, right? This point. So what I mean to say, you have to remember that Vasco da Gama or Portuguese explorers, they used to come Asia, right, with maximum distance. You can say 7,000 kilometers. And by opening this Suez Canal, nearly 7,000 kilometer distance decreased, or 7,000 kilometer distance was decreased by the opening of Suez Canal. This point we have to keep in mind. I hope you got this point. And there are two legs in this Suez Canal. Two legs you will find. One is Great Bitter Lake. Great Bitter Lake. Many people think how lakes can be possible in Suez Canal, but remember the world is a mystery, right? God has created, so we have no objection in that. So anyway, Great Bitter Lake and Little Bitter Lake, right? Anyway, Great Bitter Lake and Little Bitter Lake are found in Suez Canal. This point to be keep in mind, please. And I hope you got this point. So now, and nearly 150 kilometer distance is 150 kilometers. Somewhere it is written 160 kilometer, the distance of Suez Canal. So don't worry about that, right? It is nearly 150 kilometer long. There are two legs, and this Suez Canal is, under Egypt. This country, Egypt, African country, one of the developed country in Africa, right? So this point, I think you are clear now. So let's go ahead. Now we'll focus. Now actually we are moving around Africa. You just see, we have completed this. Now we'll talk about this. Actually, please remember this is Madagascar. This is Madagascar, you can clearly see. And here is one water body called Mozambique Channel. Actually, Mozambique is a country, here you can see. Mozambique is a country. And this Madagascar is the fourth largest island. Fourth largest island in the world. Fourth largest island in the world. And we know Greenland, the largest island, we know this. So Greenland is the largest island. This Madagascar is the fourth largest island, and there is one channel called Mozambique Channel. You can see here one country is called Mozambique. So Mozambique Channel you will find here. You can say Mozambique Channel, water channel separates Madagascar from Africa or Mozambique. This point to be clear. Just I will show it right now. You just see, this is Madagascar, right? You can see here, and separated by Mozambique Channel, you can see. I think you are clear now. And now we will focus this point, the southern part of Africa, right? Actually, here is Cape of Good Hope is there. So please remember, one cape is there, Cape of Good Hope. Cape of Good Hope. Don't worry, there is a lot of hope here. What I mean to say, when Vasco da Gama came to India, right? When Vasco da Gama came to India, actually he came from Portugal like this in 1498. 1498, Vasco da Gama came to India. Vasco da Gama came to India here. Okay, here this point. by this route that is known as Cape of Good Hope. This point you should remember for exam point of view. Right? Slowly, steadily we will move. We are just going in clockwise manner. So let's discuss here what is this point. You just see, we have covered from Strait of Gibraltar, then Mediterranean Sea, then Suez Canal we have discussed, then Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, then Mozambique Channel, now Cape of Good Hope. Now we are going to discuss actually this point. This point is very, very important. We have to remember this. This is known as Gulf of Guinea. Gulf of Guinea, I think it's visible. Anyway, I will explain right now what is this Gulf of Guinea. There is one important point here to keep in mind. I will explain first here, just try to understand. This line, this dotted line is known as equator. Right? This is called equator. What is equator? Equator separates the globe into two equal halves. We call this equator. And here from this side, GMT is coming. That means this is also 0 degrees equator, latitude. And this color GMT, GMT coming from Europe. And they are intersecting at this point, that is Gulf of Guinea. So please keep in mind, Greenwich Mean Time coming from Europe, London headquarters and crossing through Africa, right? And the equator, which is passing through Africa, intersecting at this point. Please keep in mind, I'll tell the point here right now. You have to remember GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, GMT and equator. GMT and equator intersect at this point, Gulf of Guinea. So this is Gulf of Guinea. So remember, Gulf of Guinea. Or Guinea you can say, some people say also Guinea, no issue. Guinea, whatever it may be, you have to keep in mind. I hope you got this point. Equator passing like this and GMT is coming from north to south, right? And intersecting at this point. Let me wipe out, then I'll show how it is intersecting, right? I'll show it right now. You just see here. If I say, suppose this is equator, done. If I do like this, you can see London is here. So United Kingdom, the London is here, right? So GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, coming like this, right? And passing through Africa and coming to this Gulf of Guinea. Are you getting my point? So equator is coming like this, and from north it is GMT, so it's intersecting. This point should be clear. I hope you got this point. You see, in this lesson, we'll cover step by step everything. So I have finished. That means I have finished all this surrounding of Africa, right? Now I will enter into the land of tribes, land of minings, land of, you can say, minerals, gold, diamond, right? Once upon a time, it was gold rush in Africa. So anyway, let's enter Africa. How I will enter? Actually, I will explain the physical features right now. Let's discuss the physical features. First, I will start from the water bodies inside Africa. Let me write down those points, then we'll go ahead. First, I will talk about the rivers. In water bodies, rivers are coming, lakes are coming, sea, Gulf, Strait, everything is coming. So first we will cover the rivers of Africa. There are so many rivers, you can say, but the most important river is Nile River or Nile River. You just see, first thing is, I will talk everything, don't worry. So Nile River. For river, I have written R. So Nile River. This Nile River is the longest river of the world. This is the longest river in the world. You have to remember, longest river in the world. right? This point you have to remember. So Nile River. Before going to this map, let's understand how and where it is located. You just see, if I draw like this, suppose this is Africa, right? Try to understand. I'll show it later. Just understand here. You can say, here is one lake. Here is one lake. Actually, we call this lake is called Victoria Lake. Right? This is Victoria Lake. Don't worry, Victoria Lake. And here is one lake called Lake Tana. I will explain. Lake Tana. Lake Tana. This Nile River comprises of two parts, right? One part is coming like this, clear? Another part is coming like this. That means we can say this Vala river is known as White Nile. White Nile, and this Vala part is known as Blue Nile. Okay? And this Blue Nile, White Nile meet at point, you can say, called Khartoum. Meeting point is called Khartoum. I will explain in this bigger picture, don't worry. So White Nile is moving like this, and this is originated from Victoria Lake, and Blue Nile from Tana Lake meeting at Khartoum. So this point is Khartoum. After that, it is known as Nile River. Are you getting my point? I hope you got this point. So let's see here, right? You just see here, suppose this one is Victoria Lake, this is moving like this, and this is Tana Lake moving like this. This is White Nile, and this is Blue Nile, and meeting at Khartoum. Khartoum is the capital of Sudan. After that, it is moving like Nile River. So pure Nile River is here. I hope you got this point. Okay, let's explain again. You just see here. Don't worry, everything will be fine. First thing is that this is Victoria Lake. White Nile is moving like this vertically, right? From south to north. Done. Then Blue Nile is coming like this, meeting at one point Khartoum. And after that, it's known as Nile River. Okay, let's see the map. You will be clear. You just see. We are talking about rivers. So don't worry, I will cover other rivers also. Just see here. Right, this is Africa. I am just going through that part. This is known as Lake Victoria. So from Lake Victoria, one river is moving like this. And from Ethiopia, Tana Lake is here. One river, you can say, Blue Nile is moving like this. It's not visible, don't worry. And they are meeting at one point. Now it is visible, Khartoum. And after that, it is purely Nile River. So this point you have to remember. Are you getting my point? After that, it is moving like one river. That is Nile River. So Nile River moving like this. You just see Nile River moving like this, right? And falling here near Port Said. This is the delta of Nile River. So this is the delta of Nile River. You have to remember. I think you got this point, right? And after this Nile River, we are going to focus other rivers also. One river you can say Niger River. You can say Niger River. Niger River, you can say that Nigeria is named after this Niger River. So Nigeria is named after this river. Nigeria is named after this Niger River. This point we have to remember. Senegal River is also there. Senegal River is there. Senegal River. I'll show it how. Actually, Senegal is here. I'll explain. Senegal River, and it is named after a country, Senegal country. Capital is your Dakar, D-A-K-R. Senegal River, Senegal is also one country, Senegal, and capital is Dhaka. So these are the things you have to keep in mind. And now we'll go for the bigger river. Actually, Congo River we are going to discuss. And Congo, please remember, Congo is the second longest river of Africa, not world. Not world. Please remember, Amazon in South America is the second longest river, but Congo is the second longest river in Africa. And this Congo River, I am talking about Congo River. Congo River, Democratic Republic of Congo, we know this. So in a Congo River, the equator cross twice. Please remember the equator latitude cross this Congo River twice. Equator cross this river twice. I'll show it right now. You just see here. Suppose this is equator. I think you got this point, equator. And you just see this river. Here is the river and it is cutting like this. I'll show it. Just see, this is the river Congo. Suppose this is equator. Done. And this is moving like this. This Congo River. Congo River. It is cutting one point here and it is cutting this point also. That means Congo River is caught by equator twice. Anyway, just understand the concept. The equator cuts the Congo River twice. This point you should keep in mind for exam point of view. This is the thing you have to remember. Now we finished Nile River, Niger River, then also we covered Congo River. Now we'll go the South Africa part. This is very interesting. Just keep patience, you can understand. Now I'll go South Africa. You see, I'll tell many things about South Africa, but before that, we'll call this Drakensberg mountain range. I'm writing shortly, Drakensberg mountain range. And here one river is moving. We call this actually Orange River. Orang River also you can say, no issue. Right? Orange River is the longest river of South Africa. Longest river. Anyway, this Orange River, you have to remember. One river is also moving like this, right? That is called Limpopo River. Limpopo River, right? Two rivers are very important here in this part. You can say South Africa. That's your Limpopo River and Orange River. Orange River is the longest river of South Africa. South Africa, not Africa. The Nile River is the longest river of Africa and also the world. But this Orange River is the longest river of Africa. Anyway, I hope you got these two rivers. Here is one interesting point regarding Limpopo River. I will talk. Actually, you just see here, Tropic of Capricorn is passing like this. Tropic of Capricorn. And Limpopo River cuts. That means you can have one point. You just write Tropic of Capricorn cuts Limpopo right? Tropic of Capricorn cuts Limpopo River in South Africa. This point you have to remember. And I have told that Congo River, we have taught Congo River caught by equator twice. Means equator, I have told equator cuts this Congo River twice. So these 2 points, you have to. So please keep in mind. This point you have to remember. Now, most of the rivers we have covered. Now we'll talk about the lakes of say, talk about the lakes of Africa. Important lakes we'll discuss. First is Victoria Lake. Right, Volta Lake.